Hi folks. It seems censorship has snapped down on me even more on YouTube, so I'll be posting up all videos on Vimeo as well. Look for me there. I'll provide a link below the video. Your spiritual nature, unlimited and impersonal. I'm 60 years old. If having personal differences, personalizing, defending myself, and attacking others back worked, I would be happy now. I know I'm happy when I don't do these things. There has to be a better way forward than engaging in these behaviors. Sheran Stewart. Morya, wisdom is when you seek your own path, rather than populate the ill-minded path of others. Me, Morya, I have a few questions, if I may. LM, of course, my child. Ask away. Me, you say that the nature of humanity is impersonal. Unlimited I'm getting some idea of, but impersonal, what does that mean exactly? LM, it has to do with the fact that we are all one. Why would you have personal differences with yourself? Me, an earthling could. I could. LM, this is due to your ineffective training and false beliefs. You have been trained to create lush, fodder for the negatives who believe themselves to be your gods. These are the parasites that infest your minds, bodies, and your world. They have taught you to be at odds with each other. Now you all must learn to make peace with others, and the road forward is to make peace with yourself. As you are at peace, you will extend the olive branch to others, even those who might be your enemies. Me, can you explain impersonality in more detail please? How does that work? LM, impersonality means non-persona, in other words there are no persons. There are no persons, there is only one. And so you must treat others as if they are you, a reflection of yourself. As it says in the 10 Commandments, do unto others. Extend the forgiveness for their errors as you would wish them to forgive your errors. You must come to understand the impersonality of what Spirit is showing you as you go about your day. It is a mirror and reflects yourself back to you constantly. As you pull up to the drive-thru, the clerk wishes you a cheerful hello, and you reflect, yes, maybe I'm not in such a good mood today. I should work on that. That is the mirroring that is reflected back to you by others. When your neighbor comments that the weather is too hot, you comment that it is better than snow, and you think, yes, people can't even speak about the weather without complaining. I will try to do better than that. Me, victim mentality. Morya, and there is more that is reflected back to you through others. Observing others' behavior you have learned about the falseness of the matrix, so the mirroring system of physical incarnation has to do with educating yourself about society. Many of you do this constantly, without even realizing it. You would like to be that way or would not like to be that way. You choose constantly by observing others. Me, what else? LM, there are situations which need healing that are mirrored up to you. At times you are triggered, and other times the lesson is less obvious. But none of it has to do with your being sinful, bad, shameful, mistaken, wrong, or a horrible person. It is a learning process where you see yourself in others. You make decisions constantly whether to become involved or not. There is a child drowning in the water. Do you jump in to save it or let someone else do it? When there are no others to do so, you are in a situation when you must face your fears or allow the death of another. Which will you do? Life is an education where you are tested constantly. You are shown that which you must learn, and the way to understand what there is to learn is to listen to your reaction. If it is not immediately obvious, ask for clarification. Me, I remember one time I was in a coffee shop and I was staring at this man, just out of focus eyes looking at the back of his head. Then an image of a man in a uniform popped into my head. I thought, huh? What's that? And my higher self says, he had an uncle that died in World War II. I then heard another man sit down next to me and my higher self said, this man's cat is dying. And I thought, what do you want me to do about that? Then I looked away out the window and another man was walking with a limp, and she tells me, This man just had a stroke. I thought, what do you want me to do about it? I can't do anything. Years later I learn I'm an indigo and I can send them healing energy. HS never tells you, just leaves you hanging. LM, this is because you did not respond in the way she had hoped you would. You stayed in a selfish viewpoint, afraid, and you did not stretch your mind to see how you could help. Me, I was in a bad part of my life back then. LM, helping others always improves one's lot in life. Me, I had the belief I didn't have anything to give. LM, so you see your limiting belief then? Me, yes. Thank you. I know better now. LM, the impersonality of all of this is that this has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. Other times you have chosen to rebalance your karma, your negative output, by being the mirror of others who need lessons. At times you are both getting a lesson. Other times you volunteer to show them through mirroring. What you react adversely to shows you where you still need healing. Me, oh, I knew you were going to choose that one. LM, laughing, yesterday morning when your cat vomited on your bed. Me, I love when he does that, not. Why can't he just go onto the floor and pook? LM, you were annoyed because you had just washed the blankets and now had to do them again. Me, true. I also remembered what my mother told me about animals belonging on the floor and wish I'd have listened to her, but then he was a rescue who came with his own point of view. LM, so you have had to compromise with him and at times this does not work for you. Me, I was thinking that this has to do with me hurrying up to buy my own washer. Because of course as I went to wash in my old building, he got into the basement and probably went to Sam's to eat the meat he keeps in the basement, yuck, for his restaurant. Merlin loves going over there to eat Sam's seafood and now Sam has bought rat poison for his basement. Folks, there are restaurant owners who don't abide by governmental rules about the preparation and handling of food. Keeping your meat out in some stinky old basement to thaw is one of them. LM, so you see how readily you turn this conversation to focus on your neighbor's flawed behavior rather than staying focused on your own? Me, yeah, pretty clever, eh? LM, laughing, yes, but you're only fooling yourself. Back up. You attack others when you are uncomfortable with yourself and your own flaws. Me, my reaction to the cat pooking on the bed was selfish again. LM, yes, you later had compassion for your sick cat but forgot about it when he fought you to get into the basement. Then you had come to the conclusion that you might lose the cat if he eats the poison. Your neighbor was home. You could have knocked on the door and asked if you could get your cat from her basement. Me, I didn't know that he was in there. LM, still. In so many things you protect the false self. You make assumptions based in its favor. Even at your cat's expense, to avoid having to deal with neighbors you have been rowing with. You protect yourself from seeing your flaws. As you coddle your fears, you fail to meet God. Me, geez, I thought Evo was bad. LOL, you're a real nitpicker. LM, you asked. These small behaviors need to be changed. Move away from selfishness, move towards service and you will find happiness. Stop putting your own fears first. Face them. There is no such thing as self. There is only one. When you see life as one with others, your entire outlook changes. Now you are ill. You have weakened adrenals and an overtaxed immune system. This comes from seeing yourself as separate. When you see yourself as one with God, you know there is no such thing as lessened energy and weakened adrenals. God does not have weak adrenals. Me, does he even have adrenals, is the question? LM, God is not weak. Neither are you. You must simply come to understand that. Selfishness is protection of the weak self. All selfishness must be given up. You are allowed your comforts and to meet your needs, but preferring to protect yourself or convenience yourself instead of facing the neighbor and telling them your cat might be eating their food in their basement must be stopped. Eradication of selfish, Protective behavior. Protecting the ego. Allowing the ego to dominate in your life even in little ways such as this, is disconnection from God. Your job is to reconnect as you never disconnected in the first place. So many have convinced themselves that they are disconnected from God and that God is a separate entity. This is the power of the human being. You can believe your own lies. You are that powerful. Yet you only fool yourselves. Ask yourself, how am I being selfish? Am I willing to change this? Do not look at the big picture because you work incessantly to raise the light on this planet. There are still pockets of darkness in your behavior and these must be eradicated. Me, You're a tough guy, et. LM, smiling, you admire me for the choices I made as Thomas More and Thomas Becket. I wish to show you the way to do as I did. To live as I lived. It is possible for all. That I bade my Father grace for having allowed me to serve him in that way, in such a way of influence of the people, and yes, I did thank him for giving me the opportunity in that lifetime as Thomas Becket. While my head was being broken apart with swords, I stood one last time and thanked him for allowing me to serve him. Me, most people would think that if a life you lived ended with 4 swordsmen braining you, that you might want to take issue with your maker, but you didn't. LM, any transaction that ends in resentment, anger, or grudge is one transacted in error. There is always a reason for gratitude. Always. The greatest reason for gratitude is to serve your God. That he entrusts you with the responsibilities you have, that he has such faith in you, that he has that respect for you, must be acknowledged and thanked. The only way to serve in greater capacity is to acknowledge and give thanks for this opportunity now. And this is the last part of our lesson. There is a way of seeing life that belies the treachery on earth now. There is an independent way of seeing the goodness and the love, the integrity of God in every transaction, every interaction. It is a choice to see God in all things, and you must make that choice if you wish to go home. Me, what do you mean by go home? LM, going home in mind. To realign your mind with the mind of creation. That is going home. Home is a comfortable place of happiness, purpose, and abundance. If you wish to have it, all selfishness must be eradicated and all resentment, anger, and egotism dispensed with. Turn to God, learn to see his hand in all things. Begin with the easy, that you have done, my child, and now see him in all things that upset you and you will not be upset any longer. Me, got it? Thank you. LM, I thank you for this opportunity to serve, my child.